Hey, it's your goth, Oliver, and I'm here to talk about Pokemon. So, as some of you know, I'm into Pokemon. I'm mostly into the earlier gens. I'm into Gen 1, 2, and 3 more than anything. I did play 4, 5, 7, I think. I can't remember the generations per se. I still like to play Generation 1 and 2 quite a bit. I have them on my 3DS, like the Virtual Console games. 3 I played a lot. Like I played a lot of Ruby and Fire Red quite a bit because I like red. Go figure. And Emerald was pretty good too. I do like green as well. I always wanted to get Leaf Green, never got it. But I played through those over and over and over, as well as Colosseum, which has two of my favorite Pokemon in it, and which I dedicated myself to. I remember the first time I played it, I was really about using Espeon and Umbreon because I really like Espeon and Umbreon. Those are two of my favorite Pokemon. People ask me my favorite Pokemon. Obviously, I like Cubone and Ghost types and Dark types. I really like Steel types as well. Magneton, really cool. Steelix, really cool. I love all the Eevee evolutions, though. I grew up with those quite a bit. Always loved making move sets and messing with them. And I'm not going to really get into Espeon and Umbreon, maybe for a future video. But for now, we're going to kind of get into one that just kind of sucks. Going to talk about Flareon. Okay, so where do I begin? Alright, so I'm not going to really touch on Espeon and Umbreon too much because they were kind of made to mimic and mirror each other, and they're pretty cool. And there's Leafeon, Glaceon, and Sylveon. I'm going to kind of look at Gen 1 and 2 mostly, but then the sort of ones that Flareon is part of Vaporeon and Jolteon, like those three evolutions kind of have a structure. I know Espeon and Umbreon have their own sort of touching, overlapping with that as well. But I think so much they lucked into, or like accidentally made Jolteon really good. I don't think they realized it. Like Jolteon's great. Electric type, solid, only weak to ground. It beats a lot of things, and then it's really fast. Has an interesting move pool. I like that it gets Pin Missile. I always thought that was really neat because I just like moves like that. I like Cactuars in Final Fantasy, so Thousand Needles, and yeah, Pin Missile's a really cool ability. It's bug type, so it can be beating psychic types, which is just neat. I wish more Pokemon got Pin Missile, and I wish it was a little bit stronger in Gen 1 and 2, but it's neat that Jolteon gets it. That's a unique thing about Jolteon, but also Jolteon gets Double Kick, like a fighting move, kind of for almost no reason, as well as just all around being a solid electric type. It's just a fast special attacker. Then you have Vaporeon, who I feel like absolutely accidentally made as like a great like hardy tank Pokemon, because the way they did the EV stats was interesting. Like their one stat is gonna they're all even. Like one stat's gonna be really high, and they're gonna balance out like second, and just Vaporeon has like a whole lot of HP, and then still like as far as like special defense goes, like we're special in Gen 1, pretty high, and then its defense is low. But what I always thought was interesting is that it gets acid armor. Just again, one of these like out of nowhere moves where Vaporeon can increase its defense, and then Jolteon, being really fast, can increase its speed, and then Flareon can do Leer. Leer? You mean the move Charmander gets right before becoming Charmeleon? Like they're almost level 50. 2 ranks of defense, 2 ranks of speed. Flareon gets to lower the enemy's defense by a little bit. don't Pokemon start with Leer? Like, don't they just like get it like right away? Like you catch them, and it's like you've worked all the way up this high. Why couldn't they have given Flareon like amnesia? Would that have been broken in Gen One? I still don't think so because it's a fire type and it wasn't that great of a Pokemon. But if it got amnesia, it would have been cool. Oh, it boosts its special. This is the special based one, and then they could have been like, well, amnesia's a little too powerful. Now it does special defense. But I still think that would have been, oh, Flareon can just kind of sit there and with its heat become dumber. I guess amnesia doesn't fit Flareon's character. So I guess, I mean, like, that's an idea. I know the stat spread for Flareon is not good, and that's a thing. Like, I didn't want it to be OP. Like, Flareon's stats, it's too slow. Like, it needs to be faster. Like, it should have like 95 base speed, or I know everyone's like 110. Like, yeah, and it's there's just no way around how they kind of built it wrong because of the special split from Gen 1 to Gen 2. It it just kind of got screwed there, and it's not a great stat spread. And there's all kinds of things I would have done different there. I mean, you could have made it more defensive. You could have made it speedier. Like, that's ultimately what I would have wanted to do. If you're going to give it 130 base attack, I think, yeah, give it a little bit more speed. Give it the 95 speed. It doesn't need special attack. Like, I know fire is special attack based, but it could have leaned into being like an evolution of like a normal type. Kind of like look at what like Snorlax or Tauros or Persian get. Like, give it Earthquake. Like, why not? Why not just give it Earthquake? It doesn't need to make sense all the time, Pokemon, Give it some other move. Give it Solar Beam. Give it give it Bubble Beam. I don't care. It wouldn't have broken the game to give it these things, Like, it can get through TM like Body Slam and like Shadow Ball. Like, it gets stuff that like makes it usable, but it's it's still just like this fire type that doesn't have the move pool to kind of back it all up. But I like the idea of it kind of having a niche thing, and it doesn't ever get that. I think really its stat boost should have been Focus Energy, which Focus Energy, when it works, increases your crit rate. So Flareon could have been, it's almost like it's heating itself up, like it's getting fired up. And it's going to focus its energy, its fire. So when its hits hit you, it hits harder, hotter. I'm just defending my position on the thematic nature of Flareon. So if you got Focus Energy and Slash, like, that sounds boring, like just looking at it. Like, well, yeah, but if it were a normal type, that's actually pretty cool. Not that many Pokemon got Focus Energy in Gen 1 and 2. I mean, the Rat gets it, Nidoking gets it, Machamp. Like, there's kind of no reason that Flareon couldn't have gotten it. It couldn't have just been part of it. Getting Focus Energy plus Slash, I'm like, that's actually also kind of big. Like, oh, okay, that sounds like broken, but like, give Flareon something to be a little broken is what I'm saying. Like, it still wouldn't have been. It still would have been like pretty much trash. But if it got Focus Energy and Slash, it would have had something more thematic that's powerful, that Vaporeon and Jolteon just sort of got neat stuff. It's like, okay, Flareon's like the attacker. It can kind of hit you with things. And I get they're going like the smoke, kind of like it's just so hot, like it gets smog, which is a poison move. Like, it's, I guess, supposed to be like the exhaust, or just, yeah, it's just gas, which is a neat idea, but it's so weak. The move needed to be improved. If you're going to give Flareon that, like, make that move hit harder. Give that like move like at least 65 base power, because Vaporeon's getting like Aurora Beam, Jolteon's getting Double Kick, like Flareon gets Smog. just make Smog not suck, and that's a better idea. It's not. I get thematically what they're doing, but they didn't do it. So that's sort of my idea. Is like, yeah, is Flareon should have been more like the critical attacker, hitting harder. It wouldn't have been cool if it was like critical, like it gets focus energy, and then in Gen 3 it gets Blaze Kick, because it does. It needs the fire moves too. Like it doesn't get Flame Wheel, and Flareon just doesn't get the same things. It's just too bad. Like Fire Spin just sucks. It's like, oh, Flareon's getting Fire Spin. It's like, yeah, but Jolteon's getting Pin Missile, and Vaporeon's getting Aurora Beam. And then there's Haze and Thunder Wave, and Flareon gets Smog and Leer, and they get Agility and Acid Armor. Like, come on, give me a break. Like, focus energy and Slash. And yeah, make Smog not suck. Like, those 3 moves, that's what I would take it out. Fire Spin, Smog, and Leer. Like, you gotta work on those 3. And, like, that would have been, just within not needing to touch the stats, I think would have been a better build for Flareon. It still wouldn't have been great, because Fire type. And just, not changing the stats. But that's kind of my hot take on Flareon. So that's all. Thanks. Bye.